Hello, everybody. Welcome to Football Uncensored. We are live again on another Friday of weekend predictions for the Premier League. Week 2 is about to start tomorrow, Saturday, earlier on in the United States, of course, later in the earlier stages of the afternoon in the UK. A lot of good matches, of course, and that we need to talk about, and a lot of news that we need to talk about as well. So hit the like button. That helps us a ton. You already know what it is. If you're watching on Twitter, hit that retweet, like, and of course, join us on YouTube, Football Uncensored, where we're going to have, of course, more shows to come, and that you can enjoy, of course, that are related to the Premier League. Talking about the Premier League, don't forget that tomorrow we have two big matches back to back here on the channel. We got Brighton against Man United, and we got Arsenal versus Aston Villa, or Aston Villa versus Arsenal, because obviously Arsenal are going away to Villa, and we're going to have both of those games this weekend. And we're going to be doing the live match commentary, so it's going to be great, of course. But join us for then tomorrow for those two matches. But today we got a weekend preview to do. We're waiting on the mighty win. Hopefully he'll join. Well, I told him 9 p.m., but I had to get started because for Newcastle fans, we got NUFC Talk TV at 10 p.m. And of course, we got to get ready. We can't. We got to make sure we're there on time as well. So, anyways, thank you, folks, and of course, hit the like button and subscribe. And let's start with some news before the mighty win gets on and we can interact, of course. But let's start with what's going on right now. And as far as news is concerned, Barcelona, by the way, let us know what you think in the comment section down below. What you want to talk about, what your opinion is on what we're talking about at the moment, of course. This player right here, we got to get on the transfer news because it's happening, all the time until the 30th, of course, at midnight when everything closes in the Premier League. But Chiesa was one of the players that was linked heavily to a lot of Premier teams. Newcastle United, Aston Villa, Chelsea were in the conversation. But it looks like Barcelona are keen to sign the player. Now, Barcelona has a lot of issues, financial issues, of course, and they have asked Federico Chiesa to lower his salary to come to the club, according to Diario Sport. So that's an interesting piece there. We're gonna have to see how that you know how that what happens there. But regardless, it seems that there might. What's that, mighty win?
Well,
Yeah.
when was it 8:45?
No, I know, man. I know. I just, we got NUFC Talk TV, so we can't be late for that one. Obviously, we got a good guest coming up. Again, Newcastle United playing Bournemouth away, and we got a Bournemouth guest on NUFC Talk TV. We don't want to keep them waiting, so, and I think that this might take an hour, but we'll see. If not, we got a few minutes to get a couple of drinks and rejuvenate ourselves before we keep going. So, uh,
Listen, I'm a professional, right? I
I know.
get prepared before every show, so I'm saying, Lord, and then I get a message
Yeah,
in.
well, I told you,
On now, join when you can.
Well, I know, but like I said, we got other stuff going on. So I just want I don't want to do I don't want to take go because we got to be there 15 minutes earlier for NUFC Talk TV. But
Yeah,
regardless, anyways, let's get started. Federico Chiesa, I guess, linked to a lot of Premier League teams, but it seems like he's might be on his way to Barcelona. So I think a lot of Premier League clubs have missed out on that one. To be fair, but they are also asking him to lower his wages for him to be able to sign. Barcelona has a lot of stuff going on when it comes to uh, you know trying to meet the FFP. Not well, I don't know if they have FFP, but the financial uh, rules over there in Spain. So there you go. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Of course, we run into some news, and then before we move on to the predictions.
well,
Um,
just on that subject, though, Chris,
yeah,
if they are signing Chiesa, does that mean Ferran Torres is available?
that could be. That could be.
Uh, because
Again, wages
he
wages is
is.
the thing. And Ferran Torres will be
Yeah,
available for a
yeah,
lot of
but
a lot of Premier League teams.
if the price is right, it's a combination. But you can either pay 100 million for the player and whatever 100K a week wages, but if you're only paying 30K for the player, then you can afford to pay.
Yeah,
As with Kelly,
right.
got him
No,
on a
that's
free, so you can afford to pay 150K wages because the package over the length of the contract amounts to the same amount of money, and you're
Well,
paying it spread out.
and of course that has to do with Newcastle, but a lot of teams could go and sign Ferran Torres at this moment. There's a shortage of right wingers to say the least. So a lot of teams could use a right winger in today's game. We'll have to see what happens with Chiesa. I'm moving on with other news though. The Mackhams, Sunderland, are selling a player, Jack Clark, going to Ipswich, upgrading in his career, going to the Premier League. Of course, it's a here we go, according to Fabrizio Romano. 20 million total fee to Sunderland. 20 million to Sunderland must be a ton of money at this moment in time in their where they're at. I'm not seeing a lot
Well,
of
well, that is now Sunderland's modus operandi. I forget the name of the kid who owns them now, but he's just a young kid, and he saw what Mike Ashley did at Newcastle, and he's now copying that. He's
yeah.
buying. He's not bothered about what the team does really. If they do well, that's a bonus, but it's all about making money.
Yeah, that is true. But
And there's nothing the matter with that
no, the fans
spreadsheet.
are going to be outraged to say the least. The
But
fans are
well,
not going
well,
to be
that's the thing. It's keeping the fans happy while you're doing that. It's the hard bit. That's the juggling act.
Yeah. That's fair enough. In other news, talking about a team that could possibly sell Ivan Tony. Ivan Tony is kind of in the middle right now, not 100% sure what's happening, if he's going to be sold or not. There's talks that he might go to Saudi Arabia. Who knows at this moment? But Thomas Frank has spoken, and he still has no idea whether or not Ivan Tony will be a Brentford player after the transfer window next week. He says, "Who knows?" But let's listen to Thomas Frank speak on this matter.
Who knows? Let's see. To whatever it is, it's Saturday. Let's see Sunday. What will happen? I went to train the whole week. Trained with good attitude in every aspect. So he could be involved. He could not be involved. He could be here after the. Is it 31st or 30th? 31st. 30th.
We have
and he
the
could
same
not be here.
questions.
Basically, everything is up in the air. I said the whole time that if he's here, very happy. If he's not here, I'm happy on his behalf.
Are you able to shed any light on how discussions are progressing with Al Ali?
I would love to share all that. I think it'll be very, very interesting, but I won't.
Where's he from, by the way? His accent is a bit different.
He's from Denmark.
Oh man, he fooled me on that one. I thought he was English, but
No, he was Denmark.
but yeah, I mean, it's obviously very clever, very astute on his in his answers, and he's not going to give you anything. But Ivan Tony shouldn't he be a guy that some teams might want for maybe not starter, but at least to be
Well,
fighting for that spot.
if you go back 6 months, he was in January even. Obviously, he was serving his ban then, but every single Arsenal fan show was saying, we've got to get Tony, we've got to get Tony. They're all wanting a striker, and so far, they ain't got one.
No.
Quite a few of them are up in arms because they haven't.
Yeah.
They've improved the defense, which was already the best defense in the league. They've added to that. They had a brilliant midfield last season, which they've added to with Mourinho. And the one place that everybody says we need a 20-goal a season striker is the one area where they haven't added to.
Yeah, that's a fair point as well. I mean,
but very interesting as well today that apparently Raheem Sterling has said that he wants to stay in London, and Arsenal would be his.
Well, we're gonna get into that. Of course, we got news, and Arteta has spoken about it, and it might just be the place for him at this point in time. Everything's seeming to line up with what everybody wants, all parties involved. So it might happen, and I think that will strengthen Arsenal. But we're gonna get to that, of course, here in a minute. Let's go for two more pieces of news, and then we'll move on to the predictions. The way we get it out the way. But before that, we gotta listen to the man that is involved in this situation with Raheem Sterling, and that is Enzo Maresca, who has been speaking a lot in the media and very right to the point, very blunt. The new manager, a lot of people saying that he is a little bit of an experience to be talking the way he's talking, but some say that that's what you need to be a Chelsea manager. But let's listen to what he had to say. Of course, in quotes, he said, "I just communicate the players I like and the players I don't like." Pretty simple. Let's listen.
No, it's I just communicate the players that I like and the players that I don't like, and because there are still 1 week, 10 days for the window transfer, hopefully we can find solution for all of them. Because at the end, if when you find a solution, everyone is happy. When you don't find the solution, probably you can create some problem. But at the moment, with the squad that we have, that I said the other day, I don't remember some of you. At the end, I'm working with the 22, 23, 21 players, not with the 42 or 43. Otherwise, it's impossible, because it's impossible for any manager in the world to make a session with 45 players. It's impossible. You cannot do that. No, it's
Well, that it is true what he's saying, but they brought it up on themselves to sign up 40 players. What he's talking.
Apparently now they're training in 2 shifts. You've got 1 shift going on with 22 players and another shift.
Well, he made it clear and say that I train with 20, 21 players. The rest train separately, and they obviously entitled to what the contract says, which is they'll get training. They'll they'll be treated like professional players, but they won't be part of the first team. That's very direct. But what else would you do in this situation? He's saying he communicates to the players and saying to the ones that he likes and don't like, he moves them from the team. So,
and he's right what he's saying, that any coach in the world will tell you cannot conduct a meaningful session with 42 players. You simply can't. It's too many.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that.
I guess, is Chelsea going to play Wolves this weekend? Maybe so. We're going to get to that, but obviously Gary O'Neill here has said a few words about.
Wolves away.
Okay, so that's probably what they're talking about right now. But let's listen to Gary O'Neill, of course, Wolves manager, and what Sky Sports had to report today.
A real good, clear structure in place to allow Enzo to do what he needs to do.
It doesn't look easy though, does it, from the outside?
No, it isn't. I mean, managing any Premier League football club won't be easy. There's only 20 of them, and there's a lot that goes into making sure a Premier League football club runs properly. So, not easy. But of course, Enzo is working at one of the biggest clubs in the world. They've won the Champions League. They've won the league. So there are a lot of upsides to being the manager of Chelsea as well.
You take it.
No, I'm happy here. Thank you.
Oh, let's not mess. I mean, look, if he is asked to go to one of those big clubs, I think he will strain himself getting up and running towards that team, in my honest opinion. But obviously, he's doing well at Wolves. And
of course, Wolves have just sold Neto to Chelsea.
That is true, and we'll see. We'll see how he performs. But he's definitely part of the plans of Enzo Maresca. All right. So before obviously we continue with more news, we got to get to the Premier League prediction. We got a lot of news lined up as well, from basically pieces that managers around the league have said about their matchups coming up. But before, we got to go match by match and start with this one right here, man. Brighton, Man United.
And is there a harder one to forecast?
Well, I don't know, man. Well, look, we said Brighton was going to draw. You said that, I think, with Everton last week. And they beat them like a drum, man. I'm telling you. They beat Everton like a drum. So that's giving us a little bit of a perspective what Everton is going to be like later on their predictions. But Brighton against Man United at home, Brighton. And so what do you think, man? And, it's interesting.
I'm just laughing at the Peacock time there, 6:30 a.m.
Oh, yeah, 6:30
But
a.m.
it's a 12:30 kickoff.
Yeah. Are those the matches? No, it's 3 p.m. They don't show, right?
Well, the thing about Brighton is this is the first season for they've been doing really well in the league. They qualified for Europe last season. This is the first season when they haven't lost one of their major players.
But they didn't play well last season, to say at least. Brighton.
Well, no, they didn't, but that's because they sold
You know,
Cucurella, Caicedo, and World Cup winner McAllister. So you know, when you sell your three best players, you're obviously not going to perform as well as you did when you had them.
yeah, that's fair enough. Fair enough.
And so yeah, but this season they've got the squad that they finished with badly, to be fair, last season under De Zerbi, who by then, by all accounts, had fallen out with everybody. So they've got the new manager in. They've got off to a flying start at Everton, and their tails are going to be up. First home game, Man United struggled, if you ask me, to get past Fulham last week. So I think Brighton have got every chance.
You think Brighton are gonna be look in the head-to-heads? To be honest, it's pretty. We're talking about last 14 matches played. I'm assuming. Well, there's got to be just Premier League, obviously. Which 14 matches goes back to the beginning of times. But 6 total wins for Brighton, 8 for Man United. That's pretty impressive for Brighton. I would expect this to be a little more unbalanced towards Man United.
But 4 home wins.
Right, 4 home
Out of-
wins, 5 away. But 3 away from Man United, so it's not that big. It's not that it's not that bad.
Yeah,
Where would you go?
2
Well-
away for Brighton.
Yeah, what would you? Yeah, but they're not playing away. They're playing at home. Man
Yeah,
United
yeah.
away. So
Well, the stats there say to me that between these two teams in the last 7 seasons, the home team have got the advantage.
so what would you say?
I think Brighton might nick it.
What's your score, man? Everybody in the chat as well. Tell us your score about this.
Score 1-0. 1-0 Brighton.
1-0. Oh man, man, we need to do it. We need to keep up scores, man, because
It's going to be tight.
All right. Well, it says 1-0. I think Man U might surprise people because they're just lucky, man. They're just lucky. If they don't have football in their legs, they're gonna find a way. And the good thing about them is they got players that can perform.
Oh,
They can win the
sorry.
game.
You think Man United are lucky? Yeah. They find a way because just built into the club since Fergie is that just winning mentality, which I've said a million times. The only way you get the winning mentality is by actually winning. And Man United have done it, even though they've had these supposedly terrible seasons the last 2 years.
Yeah,
they've come away with a trophy both seasons.
that's true. And about this,
I would settle for that.
before. Yeah, you're right. Well, I mean, but you can't compare it with us because we're not talking about big club, small club, medium club, whatever. They are ahead of the curve on United because throughout the last 20 years, they've been able to get money, get fans. That's why the fan base is the number one reason why clubs win, actually, because they fund the damn club, and it's because of them. The club grew. They're able to get players and superstars and really good, talented players that can win an FA Cup. And when you win like 10 FA Cups, when you fight for the title one season, even though you don't play good, you maintain that status, and you're able to pay players. You're able to get new, and even though they're not well, according to what everybody sees on the outside, they're not well run, and I don't think they have a good manager here that we're about to listen to.
They had a catastrophic season last season, by all accounts. If you listen to everybody, catastrophic.
they won the
It
FA
was
Cup.
shocking. Den Haag was rubbish, and they
He
finished
was
6th
rubbish, though.
in Europe, and they won a cup.
Yeah, but again,
Season just gone. Catastrophic season. Finished 8th, won a cup, back in Europe.
yeah. All right, let's listen to
if that's failure, can I have some?
Where's Ten Hag from? Holland, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is he ever going to be lined up for the Netherlands job? Maybe so at one point. I would assume at some point.
Too young, too young at the minute.
Nah, this guy, man. Anyways, let's listen to Ten Hag.
There's a lot of talk at the moment about transfers with the deadline approaching. Manuel Ugarte has been spoken about a lot. Are you hoping to do business before the window?
Just be patient. Just sit, wait, and we're working, of course, very hard, and we will always try to make the best squad possible. So we have a couple of days. The approach will always be improve. So as long as we have the opportunity, we will look for it. But in this moment, I can't tell any news.
Have you been happy with the business so far?
Yes, I'm very pleased. It is showing we're going in the right direction. We know as a club we have to catch up, but I think it shows our ambition, the way we want to go. So I think we have done good business, really very good players, quality players who will contribute to our squad, to our quality of the squad.
All right, and with that being said, we're gonna move on. Crystal Palace and West Ham United in London. How far is it? West Ham. West Ham is west, right? Well, west, isn't it? Right, west of London.
West Ham's East London, actually.
Oh, East.
That's what it sounds. There's a place in London called Ham, and you've got East Ham and West Ham.
Yeah, but Crystal Palace is
so that East Enders, if you like. Crystal Palace is South London, Brighton.
Oh, Crystal Palace is last. Yeah, okay. All right, so that's the next match lined up, of course. By the way, talking about the first match, the second match that we talked about, Brighton and no, that was the first match. Brighton against Man U. We will have the live match commentary tomorrow over here at 6 in the morning. Yes, me waking up at 6 in the morning to do live commentary. Don't ever judge my commitment to football. So why when you gonna wake up? Come on, man! I need a commentator. I'm the narrator of the game. I tell you the story.
I've just been roped into the 2 o'clock.
Look, man.
AM English time.
This is what you gotta understand. I narrate the game. I tell the story, but you explain it, brother. That's the way it goes, man. But anyway, we'll do that
because that's one thing you can't do. Right.
We'll talk about it. Crystal Palace, West Ham in London. What do you think, man? That's going to be a pretty divided match. And obviously, we talked about Marquis being the captain.
And Palace have just lost Anderson to Fulham without a replacement.
Yep.
So I don't know how that's going to affect them. They obviously lost Alessi. And I've tipped West Ham this season to be a dark horse. Didn't start well last week, but
I think they make good signings. So that's the thing.
But I fancy West Ham here. To be fair,
yeah, I think too. I think West Ham away, they're going to get it done. Fulkrug is going to score. I think Newcastle should have went and got him, but that's a story for NUFC Talk TV. And I mean, but incredible though, pretty even. On the head-to-head, 9 wins for each, 4 at home for West Ham, 5 at home for Crystal Palace, 4 wins for. Look at that, the home and away are kind of inverted. You know, very very even man.
With West Ham having the edge away.
Yeah, that's true. So
they're away. So
there you go.
I'm going to take West Ham 2-1.
West Ham 2-1. Lovely.
Yeah, I'm expecting West Ham to have a good season.
And talking about Crystal Palace team, one of the teams involved in this one, Marquis is confirmed to be the captain for this team. One of the players that might be leaving to Newcastle United, or Newcastle are very much involved, is Mark Gihey. Let's listen to what Sky Sports had to report on his potential transfer away from the London team.
This one, but there is movement in the right direction. And I think there is now a cautious optimism that this deal will go through, possibly before the weekend. Now, Newcastle's latest offer, 60 million plus 5 million in add-ons. That wasn't flatly rejected. The two clubs have been talking about the structure of that deal. It's our understanding that a bit of 65 plus add-ons should be enough to get this one over the line. It will be Newcastle's all-time record signing. So this is big business as far as Newcastle are concerned. Eddie Howe's #1 target. It's taken some time to get it done, but it's moving in the right direction. And as I mentioned, there is now a cautious optimism that this deal could get done, possibly before the weekend.
All right, and that's obviously it also leads us to Newcastle United, but we're going to get into that later on because Eddie Howe has spoken, and also Trippier might be on the move. So, but before that, we got to talk about this one coming up, man. Fulham. This must be on the East Ham side, or no?
Fulham's next door to Chelsea.
Well, West Ham is divided in two halves, and if you combine the both, you have the full. If you have the full Ham.
Ham is divided.
I'm playing,
into two
and
halves.
obviously, I don't think that it's the two Hams combined makes Fulham, for obvious reasons. You know, but what part of London is Fulham?
It's West End basically.
It's all West, man. Damn. All right, and Leicester.
Leicester's in the Midlands.
In the Midlands. There you go. What's Leicester's derby?
No, Leicester's derby would probably be Nottingham Forest or.
Come on, man.
I don't know. Maybe it's even Coventry, but obviously Coventry aren't in the same division now.
Yeah.
In terms of Premiership teams, probably Nottingham Forest.
We got to get Leicester to get some. We got to get other teams to sign up, man, to be there. What about Aston Villa? It's Midlands, isn't it?
That's Birmingham. So Aston Villa have got Wolves and Birmingham City and West Bromwich Albion.
There you go. All right, Fulham, Leicester, man. Again, well, Fulham's got the edge on this one. 5 total wins to 2 Leicester, but regardless, I mean, Fulham is the established Premier League team. Leicester just came up, but Leicester, man, made some interesting signings. Not worldwide.
Leicester have got one thing on their CV that Fulham will never get, and that's a title.
There you go. Which is unbelievable, isn't it? But they will hold on to that one. They will hold on to that one for the rest of dawn, for the rest of time.
You can't take that away from me.
You got a star there, man.
You can't take that away.
Did you see Vardy? Did you see Vardy holding telling the Spurs fans?
Yeah, one title,
and you guys
one
have,
Premiership
he
title.
said you guys have 0. Oh man, it's still coming in clutch for Leicester, man. Scoring goals, tying, equalizing. Spurs.
I think it's absolutely disgraceful that the Premier League are still holding this sword of Damocles over their heads with regard to points deductions for their alleged financial failings the last time they were in the Prem. Because obviously when they dropped down to the Championship,
doesn't count.
Premiership have got no jurisdiction. But apparently, again, those discretions of the past are now being looked at.
Yeah.
And why that wasn't, they should have known what that punishment was going to be before a ball was kicked this season. So at least they would know where they started. Are they going to be starting off 4 points behind, 6 points behind, no points behind? Because it can change from the coach's point of view, it changes the way you approach games.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with you, man. I agree with you 100%. What do you think about the match, though? Against, I mean, this should be Leicester's match. I mean, these are the matches that they need to win, though.
Well, you're saying that, but I mean, I'll be honest. I've got Leicester going down. A small percentage on the back of, I think they're going to get a points deduction. I just don't think that they're basically relying on Jamie Vardy still to score their goals. And sadly, brilliant though he was, he is just, he's getting older. His legs are getting slower. And Jamie Vardy's strength is that he's got that rocket pace to get onto through balls. He hasn't got Barnes providing those now. He hasn't got Madison providing those now. So I fear for Leicester. Obviously, he scored on Monday and got them a point against Tottenham. But really, Tottenham should have been out of sight before Leicester equalised. So no, but and Fulham have now got Anderson. Obviously, they've just signed from Crystal Palace. So home advantage, I'm afraid, for me. 2-0 Fulham
at the Cottage Cheese Stadium
at Craven Cottage.
But anyways, all right. Well, that's good. What was your prediction again?
2-0.
2-0. All right. The next match lined up in the schedule is this one: Man City versus Ipswich. Boy, Ipswich, man, they got Liverpool in the first round, Man City in the next one. Man, that's just tough news, man.
It's a tough start for Ipswich.
But look at the head-to-head. Obviously, Ipswich hasn't been in the Premier League since when? A long
Since
time ago.
Pussy was a kitten, since Bobby Robson was there, man.
So that means Man City wasn't
well, Man City weren't the Man City that they are now.
So now this so that's why
And there were many games played when Bobby Robson was managing Ipswich at their peak.
Yeah, that's why
winning UEFA Cups, etc.
That's when these stats. You got to know, put context into stats, because these stats say it's pretty even. It ain't. It's a pretty unbalanced match coming up.
I tell you what, I'm actually surprised that they played 4 seasons together in the Prem, which is what that's saying.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. The Ipswich must have played those 4 seasons when they were really on the way down,
right?
And yet they've still got 3-2 and 3 out of 8, 1 draw.
What do you think, though?
But I don't think that's not even a competition.
Well, Ipswich should go for the draw, though. Just sit back.
Yeah,
wait for the counterattack.
Who is the master at breaking down low block defenses? Who is the master? Who's been doing it now for 4 seasons? Well, he's been doing it for 8 seasons, really.
That's definitely better than going in attack, obviously. So you got to pick your poison. You got to pick your poison. This is just choosing between your mom and your dad, man. You just got to choose. But look, at some point in time, Ipswich just look.
Man City have just got Gundogan back.
That's what we're going to talk about. Yeah.
And Ipswich have signed Jack Clark from Sunderland.
And they signed the lead, the former lead star. I keep forgetting his name, man. Calvin Phillips from Man City.
Yeah. I think that's a good signing for Ipswich.
On loan, by the way, so he's going to have to come back.
Yeah. But he's not allowed to play then if he's on loan, obviously.
Yeah, well, they put that in there.
So
but anyways, so what's your prediction on that?
Comfortable.
Mighty Mac saying 4-0, 5-0.
I can easily see Haaland getting a hat trick here.
Yeah, man.
I don't
Farmers
know.
League.
Honest, it could be anything.
Farmers League. But anyways, of course, Man City is literally confirming. Deal done. Ilkay Gundogan has rejoined Man City on a free transfer from Barcelona. 1 year deal.
That's a fantastic deal,
Yeah, 1 year deal with an option for a 2nd year. But let's listen to the report. Don't listen to us. Listen to the report by Sky.
That's why you're underestimating the impact that he can really have. He can walk straight into that squad anywhere Pep wants him. Someone that knows his system so well, someone that demands respect. He's a leader as well. And the teams that are in the Premier League, they know the impact he's had as well. So I think he just edges it just because of his familiarity to the league.
Do you want to have the deciding vote?
I think Marino will play more minutes.
Oh, they're talking about Marino, who we're going to touch on. But, I mean, he's just going for a year, so it's not really that big of a deal. And he went to Barcelona, so he was in peak football, status, I guess you could say.
Mourinho was at Barcelona.
No, I'm talking about Gundogan, man.
So why? Why are they?
No. They were talking about Marino. They're talking about Mikel Marino or.
All right, they're doing a comparison.
Right. And about, of course, this comeback, really good comeback for Man City.
No, he'd
Obviously,
be like a dog with two cocks.
the Gaffer wanted him back because clearly he had a conversation with him, and he let go a lot of money though. Gundogan to come back, he wasn't wanted anymore because he was critical of how Barcelona was running the team, which I think is very much what you expect. President Laporta said, "We don't want this is a dictatorship here, man. We don't want nobody talking rubbish, which isn't rubbish. The team is literally ran like crap, and no money in Barcelona at all. They still get people that want to join them though because it is Barcelona. But let's listen to what Pep Guardiola had to say.
We know him quite well, me personally, but the staff and the players and everyone. And you know the quality that he played last season in Barcelona, like he played in a high level, consistency, playing a lot of minutes, games, and producing a lot. It was we didn't have any doubts, but the possibility was open. And yeah, absolutely delighted that he's back.
There you go. So it was a no-brainer for him to get him back, of course. But so there you go. It's going to be a pretty unbalanced match, to say the least, for Ipswich. Just at some point in time, though, you got to take when the house is on fire, man. You just got to take the kids and the wife out. You just got to leave the dogs in there. You know, leave the PlayStation 5. You just got to make an executive decision, man. Let's move on to the next one. Of course, the Battle of the Trees. This one. Southampton, they're not even nearby, are they? Southampton is south.
No, Southampton's on the south coast.
Yeah, but
Forest in the middle.
the Battle of the Trees, man. Southampton against Notts Forest. Pretty unbalanced as well on the total wins for Forest, 7-2 Southampton's. But
Battle of the Trees.
The Battle of the Trees.
Is it because they've both got a tree on their
Yeah.
bad?
Well, Forest got trees, obviously. Not in Nottingham, but I don't know about Southampton. It looks South Beach, but I'm gonna call them the Battle of the Trees because they got
St. Mary's.
They got both trees on their logo. But
The Saints.
what do you think? Forest, I think, has the edge on this one, right?
Well, I don't know. I haven't watched Southampton play last week.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that.
You know, bear in mind when they were in the championship before promotion there, they had the top possession stats of all the championship. You know, the average over the whole season, they averaged 63% possession.
Wow.
That's an awful lot of possession. And against Newcastle last week, 72-28 or something. Albeit against 10 men for an hour, but nonetheless,
they play decent.
They know how to keep the ball.
They play decent. So what's your prediction there?
I think Southampton will win it.
Nah, no way, man.
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean,
what's the score?
I predicted Southampton to go down, but I think this is kind of a must-win.
Just one game, man. One game. Why are you making all of a sudden Southampton's going to fight the Premier League, man?
No, I'm saying I've taken Southampton to get relegated. But this is one of the few games that they'll win.
Okay, well, that's good. What's your
Because
score then?
I think Southampton will be, Nottingham Forest will be right down there. 2-0 Southampton.
2-0 Southampton. Okay. Good deal. Moving on to the next one. Spurs-Everton. I think no doubt here Spurs are going to win this one, don't you think? I mean, they're not the greatest, obviously, Spurs. They drew against Leicester. They were away, though, so I guess that's...
That's it. The home advantage, obviously. But I thought they would beat Leicester comfortably last week.
But they didn't.
And they certainly had the lion's share of possession. They should have been out of sight before Leicester equalised. But they couldn't finish their dinner. However, Everton, sadly, are just the same old Everton they were last season. And they're going to struggle. I can't say anything but a Spurs comfortable victory.
Yeah. Kenny says 3-1 in the chat.
2, 3, 4, could be anything.
Yeah. Talking about Spurs, though, Ange Postecoglou has confirmed that signing Solanke will miss Tottenham's home game against Everton on Saturday.
Oh.
I wonder what that is. Let's take a listen to Sky Sports.
Football. Bit of breaking news for you, which is that Tottenham will be without their club record signing, Dominic Solanke, who, remember, they bought from Bournemouth for £65 million against Everton tomorrow. He's suffered a bit of an ankle injury and therefore will miss the visit of Everton to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, one of the 3 p.m. kickoffs tomorrow. We're going to be hearing from Ange Postecoglou a bit later on. And, of course, all of the team news ahead of the Premier League weekend will bring you a full wrap at 4:30 p.m.
Look at that.
Wow. Well, I hadn't heard that.
Oh, that's what I'm here for, man. That's what I'm here for. Bringing you the breaking news. So that's interesting. Solanke, if you got him on your fantasy league, you might want to.
I have.
Well, I want to replace him because he's not going to play, of course. But you gave your prediction. You didn't know that. You gave your prediction, man. You going to change it real quick?
They'll have far too much for Everton.
All right. Well, proba.
3 or 4-0.
Let's move on to the next one. The other match that we're going to have live tomorrow here on Football Uncensored, Aston Villa versus Arsenal. That's going to be, from what I looked, the match of the week, match of the weekend.
The match of the weekend, without a doubt.
Match of the weekend, without a doubt. Aston Villa, the Midlands against the south of the country are going to be battling. Aston Villa going to be battling Arsenal. So this is going to be a test for Arsenal, and it's going to be a test for Aston Villa as well.
Aston Villa are going to blow them away.
All right, you say that.
Well, I've said Arsenal on all that, and they still haven't signed a striker.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll be playing that pretty tippy-tappy football.
Tippy-tappy.
Around the box, and Aston Villa have got a very resolute defence who are very, very well organised with Unai. I think Aston Villa are going to win this. I don't think it's going to be easy because, Arsenal have got a very good defence as well, and they've just strengthened it, of course.
Yeah.
But, no, I think Aston Villa will have too much for them. Don't think there'll be a lot in it. I'm going to go 1-0.
1-0 for Villa. Shout out to Jari24 Arsenal Gooner saying, well, you got an emoji that shows vomiting, so I don't know if you're an Arsenal fan.
No, I think that's just tears, floods of tears coming from his eyes.
No, man, that's a vomit, man. That's a vomit one.
Oh,
but anyways, let us know, Jari, what you think about the match. Are you a Gooner, or are you for Aston Villa, or who are you a fan of? Thank you for watching on Rumble. By the way, we're live on YouTube. We're live on Twitch. We are live on X. We are live on Rumble. We're live everywhere, man. So hit the like button, of course. Help us out and follow us in all our social media platforms. But definitely join us on YouTube, mate. Jari, come on to YouTube, brother, because we put everything on YouTube and a lot of more content than just this one. So, and tomorrow, live match, Aston Villa versus Arsenal here on Football Uncensored. Talking about some news for Arsenal, though. They are weighing up a move for Nico Williams. In the last week of the transfer window, there is an awareness that his presence is to stay in Spain. However, according to Miguel Delaney, who works for the Independent over in España, the jewel, Nico Williams, great Pro player. Talking about Arsenal, though, Raheem Sterling has ruled out a move to Saudi Arabia, according to Mail Sport, and is heavily linked now, even though he was heavily linked to Aston Villa. They don't want to loan him out, Chelsea, apparently. Arsenal, though, might be interested. Let's take a listen at what Arteta had to say about the one and only Raheem Sterling.
I can talk with my time with Raheem. That was exceptional. I think we built a really strong relationship together. He was unbelievable at the time that we were together, and he taught me a lot as well about the individuals, how the players think, how we give them support and help them. And he's someone that I really have a strong feelings about.
I mean, you cannot get any more clear than that. He would like, and I'm telling you, man, I think it would be naive for anybody to not think that Raheem Sterling has a lot of talent. And so, Jari says he's a Coy, so he's a Spurs fan. I tell you what, Raheem Sterling would do great at Spurs. Who do they got that can do what Sterling does? Nobody. Shout out to Jari, by the way. But I mean, just by listening to Arteta, though, it looks like there's absolutely what is the reason of why they wouldn't make the deal? They have money to pay for the salary if they want to.
I think that Arsenal would not allow
to pay more. You pay more.
A loan deal to go through with Arsenal. It would just so piss off their fans that I'm not saying he won't move to Arsenal, but it would have to be they would have to buy him. So they'd have to pay. They would have to pay for him, and Sterling would have to agree to take a drop in wages. Whereas I think if he was to go somewhere else, I'm not saying where it could possibly be.
But what about the rivalry though? Like coming from Chelsea, wouldn't that be something to take him? We were talking about Pochettino going to Chelsea, being at Spurs. Jari, you can answer this. People were upset about the rivalry, but you wouldn't be upset about if you're a Gooner or if you're a Chelsea fan that he might go to Arsenal.
No, if you're a Gooner, you're going to be saying, "Get in, we've got our own back." Because when Ashley Cole went from Arsenal to Chelsea, of course, there was hell on it. When Abramovich bought bust the bank to get Ashley Cole, the Arsenal fans hated it. So they could possibly say this is a revenge project.
Yeah, it's a payback. Anyways, let's move on to the next one. Of course, we talked about this one. We got to go to the next one, which is Bournemouth, Newcastle United. Playing at Bournemouth. Where's Bournemouth in the country?
South Coast.
Would that be is that near London?
No, further south. Again, it's the furthest distance that we have to go.
Is that? Oh, I thought Southampton was.
No, we're further away than Southampton.
Oh wow. But anyways, so we'll go there, well, I mean, we Newcastle fans, but obviously
it's on the south coast, but it's further west.
So, what do you think about this? And we're going to do a full preview in the next hour or so. But what do you think about scores, man?
I think we'll just have too much for them.
Yeah, away.
We'll keep me powder dry for the show, but Newcastle's going to win 2-0.
2-0 for Newcastle. Talking about some news for the Magpies. Eddie Howe comments on reports of Kieran Trippier leaving Newcastle and says it's business as usual, whatever that means, with the defender still very much a part of his plans. Let's listen to Edward Howe.
Ask you about Kieran Trippier because there's been quite a bit in the media about Trippier's future over the last couple of days. From your point of view, what is the situation with him?
Yeah, the situation is business as usual. Trips has trained really well this week. I'm surprised at a lot of the stories that have come out. A valuable member of the squad. His professionalism has been first class. He's trained really well since he's come back from the Euros. I think he's only had 2 weeks training, hence the decision to not start him at the weekend. And also Tino's had a very good pre-season. And yeah, that's the situation. He continues to be really valued by all of us.
So has he expressed a willingness to leave or a desire to stay?
No, but neither. He hasn't had to. So he's just trained as normal. And he's been, as I said, very good. So yeah, I'm not really sure where this has come from. But yeah, he's preparing as we all are for the game on Saturday.
And you'll be happy then, a bit like Miguel Almiron when you talked about him last week, if when the window closes next Friday night, he is still a Newcastle player.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think you want, from my perspective, you want as many players as fit and as available to select from. You want as quality group as you can, as Kieran certainly fits into that. He had an outstanding first season with us last year, slightly disrupted by injury at the end of the campaign. But his leadership skills, his ability with the ball, his assist record, everything that he brings to the group, we definitely want here.
All right, that was Eddie Howe speaking on Kieran Trippier. Also, Talksport reporting that Everton, AC Milan, and Bayern Munich, and a number of clubs in Turkey are interested in signing Newcastle's defender Kieran Trippier. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that situation moving forward. Moving on to the next one, it is going to be Wolves versus Chelsea. We already showed what Maresca had to say about the match, but it should be. I mean, well, I don't know. That might be a tough a game for Chelsea away.
I think it's also a tough game for Wolves at home. As I say, Chelsea have got their problems, but they've got so many really, really good players.
Yeah.
If Maresca can go anywhere near to gelling them into a team, and that's the hard bit. But if he can gel them into a team, okay, they had that, the hardest task of the season, arguably, last week against Man City. But Wolves ain't no Man City.
Yeah. By the way, Helses are asking. I thought the match was tomorrow. Oh, Kenny thought the match was Sunday. It is Sunday. I don't know. I don't know if I misspoke or maybe Eddie did. Listen, my excuse is that last year we played damn near every game on Saturday, so I actually enjoy Saturday game match days on Saturdays instead of Sundays because it throws everything off. But we just follow the league, of course. Jari saying that Newcastle probably going to be tough this season. I would hope so as a Newcastle fan, and I think we have reasons for it. But Jari, follow us on YouTube, man. Come on, Football Uncensored on YouTube. That would be great, of course. But you continue to enjoy this show, of course, on Rumble if you need to. But what is your score for Wolves Chelsea?
I'm predicting Chelsea to do really well this season, but I think first home game of the season for Wolves, I'm going to go 1-1. There will be a draw somewhere in the Premier League, and this is the first one that I'm kind of predicting. So I'll go 1-1.
There you go. 1-1. Interesting. I think I got Chelsea away though. But let's move on to the last match of the week, match week 2. It is going to be what is this? A Phoenix bird? Liverpool?
That's the Liver Bird.
The Liver Bird. Is that what it's called? Liver Bird.
Yeah, Liver Bird, Liverpool.
All right. So the Reds are going against the Bees. And I think the Liver Bird is going to have a little too much fire for the Bees, man.
Yeah,
but
sadly, I think you're right.
So, what is your prediction for that, my friend?
I'm going to go 3-0. 3-0 Liverpool.
Yeah, Mighty Max saying pull 3-0.
They'll just they've got far too much for. Obviously, Arnie has got to prove himself.
Yep.
And they struggled a bit against Ipswich at the start last week, but gradually just through the gears. And at the end, it could have been, 3 or 4 comfortably. And I just think at home, first home game of the season, everybody's fired up. New manager. I think way too much for Brentford, sadly. So 3 or 4-0.
And talking about Arnie, he's spoken as well.
I hope they are twice as loud as the Ipswich crowd, because the Ipswich crowd was really, really, really loud. So I'm hoping the fans can be twice as loud then as the Ipswich ones. That would be a big help for us. But no, I'm not nervous at all. Certainly not at this moment, because I'm in the middle of preparation, prepare the team for Sunday. And actually, no, nerves are not there. No.
Not even at 4:25 on Sunday.
No, it wouldn't be a good thing. If you've got nerves, then probably you don't trust what you did before. You just don't trust your team. And I trust what we as a staff do during the whole week to prepare the team in the best possible way. And I trust the team a lot as well, again on Sunday.
There you go. That was Arnie Boy speaking, of course, about this match coming up against Brentford.
I don't know if I agree with what he said there. If you've got nerves, it's wrong. I think if you haven't got nerves,
it's normal. Human being, it's normal. It's normal. It's normal to have nerves. But maybe not necessarily. I don't know. He's got players of experience though, where I don't know if you want them nervous. But maybe he shouldn't have said that.
The manager has to be cool, calm, and collected.
That's right. And of course, don't forget that tomorrow again, Brighton, Man United, and then we got Aston Villa versus Arsenal at the Villa Park in Birmingham, right?
Correct.
That's right. So there you go. Last but not least, don't forget, of course, on Mondays, Football Uncensored show doing the review of the weekend of the Premier League. So don't miss that one out, of course. And every Friday at 3 p.m. we got the preview of the weekend. So of course, enjoy it. We're gonna have NUFC Talk TV show for Newcastle fans, of course. And then after that, you'll be redirected back to this show if you missed it, so you can watch the predictions. You can also let us know in the comment section below what you what you'd like to say, or any predictions that we may have gotten wrong in your opinion. Let us know. For now, this is a quick one. We actually went over 55 minutes. So that's pretty good. But I enjoy your company, of course, Mighty Win. Unfortunately, actually, I enjoy it, but it's unfortunate that it's at the same time. It's like it's a weird feeling, man. But go to NUFC Talk TV, because I got the old man has to answer some questions, man. I saw something today when I had my drone flying around Newcastle that relate to this man, and I need some answers. But anyways, I appreciate your support as usual. Hit the like button, and we shall see you. If you're a Newcastle United fan or not, maybe you just want to join the chat. Join us on NUFC Talk TV in literally about 15 minutes. We'll be live with Newcastle, Bournemouth, a rival preview. By the way, we're gonna bring a rival fan to have his
Craig on from Cherries Till I Die.
Yeah, Cherries Till I Die. So thank you so much for your support. We'll see you on the next one, folks. Bye bye.
Bye bye now.